What's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? It's your boy, Skywalker the Jedi here. Back at y'all with another one, man. Y'all know what's up. It's one of the dynamic duos that restored the Snyderverse. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
Yeah, me and boy, Zah Ryder. You know what I'm saying? Yo, thank you, Zah, for coming on here with me. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
It's always a pleasure having you over here, sir.
Whether we
Absolutely.
do it on your channel, my channel, Sill's channel, it doesn't matter. Voltron is in full effect, bro.
Don't matter. Voltron, the defenders of Restore the Snyderverse. You know what I'm saying? Look, let's get to it. Let's see who we got in the building. We got Igor watching the finals right now, but I made sure to drop a like for your brother. Shout out to you, Igor. Shout out to you. We got TJ in here. We'll definitely catch the replay. Yo, replay crew is just as important as a live crew. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody who checks out, any of my content. And salute to you, TJ.
Love the replay crews. Yes.
Facts. We got Bat Dan. It's kind of funny. Mikey has yet another win, and people are still going out of their way to call him and Geekosity liars. If you don't want to follow Scoopers, that's fine, but don't follow them then. Thanks, Bat Dan. Couldn't have said it any better myself. We got Lord Cozy in here. Let's go. Restore the Snyderverse. Shouts out to you, Koj. You already know, man. Me and Koj went to AEW. It was super lit, man. And I'm going to go back. He got me on the AEW tip. Got Osa Fresh. What's going on? What's going on? We got Bad Dan is like Zah Ryder. Yes, Zah Ryder is in the building. We got Krypton's Core. What's going on? What's going on, Krypton? We got Socks in here. Double MJ. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the Watchtower.
That's right.
The Watchtower. Jeffrey Warfield. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is getting crazy. It's like star-studded in here right now. We got Necron kicking it in my hotel in Vegas, dropping in. Salute to
you. I gotta say about Necron. For some reason, I could picture Necron touring with some badass heavy metal bands or something, like playing the guitar or the drums or something. But Necron just has that look, like, yo, I'm ready to go.
Hey, facts, yo. Necron, one of the chillest dudes. You know what I'm saying? I've had a great time interacting with him. And I'm gonna be pulling them up way more often. Might just get pulled up later. You never know. You know what I'm saying? We got Jeffrey Warfield in here saying, "I'm ready for the ultimate W." The ultimate W. Hey, and Necron, look, as he said that he's done it. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm talking about? Totally, dude.
Yo, Necron's cool peeps, yo. But look. The Snyderverse lives. Okay. And we're here to celebrate the fact that the Snyderverse outlasted the clown table. Right? Like, who would have thought that this was gonna happen, right? Outside of us. Right. But the clown table is officially on their way out the door. Whoever was still there, right? The clown table included Jason Kilar, gone. Ann Sarnoff, gone. Toby Emmerich, gone. Walter Hamada is on his way out the door as soon as his replacement gets named. So they're done. They're toast. It's a wrap, Zod Ryder. How do we feel that the Snyderverse has outlived the clown table?
It's a beautiful feeling, and you know what it is? It's a form of vindication in a lot of ways, because you have all these people who have gone so far and taken it to a completely different level when it comes to attacking fans of the Snyderverse, going after Zack and his family. I mean, it's just been really a roller coaster of hell to get here. To be honest with you, it's been nothing but nonsense, negativity, nonstop. And the thing is, us in the fandom, we're holding it down, being as positive as possible. And what does that tell you? It tells you that positivity will ultimately undermine all of this nonsense. We don't have to be enslaved by the antis and the angelic side of the fandom. We can do things our way and keep doing it and get positive results. So yeah, the betas might as well pack it up. I'm expecting to see a lot of accounts just disappear once it's announced that Zach is back officially and the Snyderverse is fully restored. People, they should just delete their accounts. Betas like KC without the F need to just go away completely and just disappear off the internet, because there's no reason for them to be there anymore, because everything that they said was a lie or some form of slander or some sort of misled viewpoint that didn't pan out. So just like y'all want Sil and Mikey to take the L, I'm expecting a lot of people to eat some crows and take some L's and just disappear from social media altogether.
Yo, wouldn't that be beautiful? If they just really got the hell up out of here, yo, like that would be such poetic justice, right? But unfortunately, I think that a few of them are going to try to wiggle and weasel their way out of this, right? And I see a lot of goalposts moving again. And what my prediction is, I'm not sure about what you think is that. But I think a lot of this crowd, they'll just transition kind of into that whole, well, if Zach comes back, his tone's going to have to be different, right? Like, because that tone wasn't working, right? So, I'm not sure if they'll be so ready to take that L, but they should be. They should be.
Yeah, think of all the time. I'm just saying, think of all the times that they've tried to make Sil and Mikey take the L. Again, we've said this a million times before about how they tried to make Sil and Mikey the ones responsible for upfront not garnering anything. Well, it's like, that's how we know y'all didn't listen to Sil and Mikey about upfront. That's how we know you don't pay attention to their channel. But then there's the people out there that was, the one prominent leader in the movement who was telling everybody about Sil and Mikey's shots in the dark. Let's not forget about the shots in the dark. That's something I'm never gonna forget, because I took that shots in the dark stuff kind of personally, because I'm so close to Sil and Mikey.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I took that kind of personally, because I'm like, yo, you don't come at somebody like that. You don't make unqualified statements like that. And then you turn around and you admit that you never watched the man's channel. So how can you make those statements? How can you say things like that? And to me, that sticks out. But that's another gentleman on the angelic side of the fandom. So we just have to remember who we're dealing with when we listen to the words "consider the source" really do matter when you hear statements from certain people.
Man, yo, I just I had a conversation with somebody that is gonna be going up on my channel probably like later this week. Can't wait for you guys to see that. But what one point that we're kind of talking about is that I think this moment has really shown, and it really highlights something that I've been feeling for quite some time, right? I love our community, right? I really do. I love it, right? But I will say that one thing that I wish was different is I wish that we were a little bit less apologetic about how we feel and what we like, right? And I've never kind of embraced that. So, I unapologetically love these movies. I love Zack Snyder. I love him as a filmmaker, as a creator. I respect him as a man from what I can see of him, right? And so, with that being said, right, I feel like we should stop kind of holding back about how we feel and like couching some of these statements in like, okay, well, you know, I know about the toxic side of the fandom, or like even acknowledging that, because I feel like in doing so, it doesn't really do anything for us, right? If we keep trying to be nice about everything and trying to like, you know, speak in a way to like bring the antis over to our side, that is like, one, it's not gonna work. Like they're never gonna come over to like just our side completely, right? So, you know, I feel like being apologetic about how we feel with these movies just kind of it doesn't do us well on
No, it doesn't work, and
the back.
you should never apologize for supporting and loving something that you genuinely have positive feelings towards. I, you know, because I don't buy into all this fakeness. It's so funny, Skywalker, because I was watching a video the other day where they were talking about the movie The Last Jedi, and all the differences between how the fans felt about The Last Jedi and how critics felt about Last Jedi. And somebody had went and did some research, and there was an insider that was part of, you know, was one of those critics who actually came out and said, you know, a lot of the critics who gave the movie The Last Jedi positive reviews really didn't feel that way.
Yeah,
They gave The Last Jedi positive reviews because they knew that it was a way to keep their access
that access.
to
So,
say and to stay on the good side of Disney. So here's the truth about us. We're restore the Snyderverse all the way. A lot of these people that talk crap about Zack and crap on the Snyderverse and crap on Zack's movies are being disingenuous, because some of these same people will tell you privately, if you know them personally, or you know some of these people on the other side, they'll tell you privately that they actually like Zack's work, that they're fans of Zack. But the truth is that it's popular and it's the thing to do now, to crap on this. If you crap on it, it's better for your brand. It's better for your image. It's better for what you're trying to do. So a lot of it, and I would say a good, well over 50% of it, is crap, is manufactured crap. They know they don't have anything, and the majority of them don't even feel that way. There's no genuine hate towards Zack Snyder. It's all manufactured media crap.
look, I want to tell you guys a story about access, okay, and how important that it is to some of these outlets, right? The LA Times, right? Yeah, I think it was LA Times. They gave a bad review to The Last Jedi, if I'm not mistaken, right? And the LA Times were not able to cover the premiere for Infinity War, right? So what was about to be like one of the biggest movies of all time, right? The LA Times couldn't cover it because they had given a bad review to The Last Jedi, right? So these things matter in, you know, Hollywood and these politics, right? So this entire time, the clown table has kind of been, you know, using these politics to their advantage, right? With like, you know, all these gatekeeping and, you know, these like just giving certain people access so that they would try to there keep it, you know, and was just pretty much parroting whatever was coming out of, you know, Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada's mouth, right? So, you know, it's not really new that we've been dealing with things like this. But I just feel like now that the that this clown table is actually like for sure done, we're gonna see a lot of these scoopers and content creators and stuff start scrambling, start scrambling because a lot of their sources are gone.
That,
Right.
that's what it is
Yeah.
too. A lot of their sources, a lot of these people that are talking all this crap are doing so because the sources that they have are on the team clown table. That's what it is. They're if you got sources that are in Toby Emmerich's camp, then of course you're going to push the narrative that the Snyderverse is never coming back. Zach sucks, all this stuff. You're going to push that narrative because that's what Toby Emmerich is telling his sources, and that's what his sources are telling these scoopers and these other outlets that are dependent on the clown table. Yeah.
Why the hell wouldn't they?
Right.
Right. Like, they have been so actively against what we've been doing, and it's been clear as day. Right. Like, these people acted in ways counter to what was going to make them money at every single step of the way. Like, from taking the 30 minutes out of BVS that clearly should have been there, which is like really the original sin of all this stuff that happens. Them taking that 30 minutes out is the original sin, because if they hadn't done that, we wouldn't even, like, that's an entirely different timeline.
That's right.
We're in like the Flashpoint timeline now, right? where things got messed up, and we had to go this whole extra long route to get what we were supposed to get in the first place. But this clown table business, and I'm just glad that is over with, so that now we can really focus on one, going forth with our narrative, and two, after we get these last little outside scoopers and the antis, once we kind of deal with them, that'll be the last of it, I think, and there won't be all this discourse going on.
Yeah, we're at a point where I feel like it's put up or shut up time for all these antis. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of getting tired of Sil and Mikey always being right. I feel like Sil and Mikey should be walking around wearing T-shirts that say "I'm tired of winning." I really feel like it's like, are you kidding me? They're always right. So now these people that keep coming at them and keep nitpicking and trying to find ways to undermine what Sil and Mikey are saying. It's like Sil always says, take me and Mikey out of it completely and just follow Zack Snyder, and you'll understand and you'll see for yourself. Follow Zack Snyder, follow Clay Staub. And the thing is, it's like, what we always have to keep in mind is the people that are doing this the hardest, that are coming at us the hardest, already know the story. They already know the truth. Grace Randolph already knows the truth. All these people, they already know the truth. They are doing it. They are putting up a front because the people that they get their information from and the people that supply them with all their access and all that are on the other side. They're anti. That's why they have to push that narrative. It's not because they believe the narrative they're pushing. It's not because they actually do hate Zack Snyder. It's because they know which side their bread is buttered on, and they know who they have to snuggle up to in order to keep the access that they have. I've said it before. It's all about access. That's all it's about. Even KC without the F. There's a reason why KC is having meltdowns on those Twitter live things, stupid things that people keep
Twitter
doing. Twitter Spaces. The reason why he keeps having meltdowns on every single time he opens his mouth. He sounds like he's about to melt down or about to cry, because the people that supply him his access have been given their moving papers. That's it. They've been given their papers. So KC doesn't have nothing. So now he's just he's like a rodent trapped in a corner with nowhere to go. So this is why he's overreacting and he's constantly irrational, because he doesn't have anything. And you become irrational when you no longer have an argument. When you can't defend yourself, you just become irrational and you just start swinging. You literally start, and I'm going to say this, you literally start taking shots in the dark. All right, that's literally what happens. So,
yo, that shot in the dark, man, that was crazy.
yeah, but Grace Randolph is in the same boat as
Oh my
Casey.
God.
She's in the same boat, and I'm with you, Bat Dan. I hope that Zack Snyder never ever does another interview with her again, because she has been just absolutely horrible to the Restore the Snyderverse fandom. And the whole reason she's been like that is because she's got a lot to lose by the clown table exiting, and her little access card. Her little access card has been revoked too. And that's because now all these people have to find new entry points. They have to find new access points now into the new regime. And they don't have that yet. And because they don't have that, that's why they're all in panic mode right now. Makes perfect sense.
Yo, man, look, anybody, that can really sit back and look at the situation can obviously see that it's an access thing, yo. Like, access in these types of forums is so important. I will kind of use this analogy. Think about it like with video games, right? If a video game comes out and you have to wait for the game to come out and then be able to play it, and then go through it and then beat it and then put your review up, that's gonna take much longer rather than getting a early copy of that game, so that your review is ready to go when the game comes out or before the game comes out, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with movies, right? If they're not getting their access to this stuff early, it really affects their bottom line, because they have to get this stuff out later, meaning other people are going to have their content out first, and thereas it might do better. So they literally have a financial incentive to try to keep these relationships in good standing, if you would say.
Well, I just hope Zach is aware of all of Grace Randolph's shenanigans and doesn't give her a pass this time. That's the thing I'm hoping. I'm hoping that he realizes and sees that, Grace has been really, really despicable, and you need to stop giving her interviews.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. No, it's been a few people that I hope Zach never goes back on their platform, Like, I'm not even going.
Oh yeah. We don't gotta name names here.
Yeah.
Other than Grace Randolph, because Grace is standing out, and Grace keeps opening her mouth, and that's a problem. I really feel like she needs to get knocked down a couple of pegs, for real.
Facts, yo. And especially when she set herself up like as being in such staunch opposition, right? Like, she's like, "Hey guys, it's not happening. You guys need to get over it."
Oh yeah,
like,
she even defended the Toby Emmerich, the ouster Toby Emmerich article, where she said, "Well, he's still here, so you guys need to," made it seem like his production deal was. This is how you could tell that that's where all her main sources come from. Her main sources come from Toby Emmerich's camp, and that's why she's so aggressive. Like, again, just like KC, I'm noticing a pattern. They all act like they're trapped rodents in a corner with nowhere to go. They're clawing and scratching and biting and yelling and screeching because they can't get out. They're stuck. There's no way out, and they got nothing to do. They got to do what they got to scrape by and do what they got to do. Table scraps just to get some crumbs on the floor. It's ridiculous.
Table scraps.
Yeah, it's terrible for them.
Yo, yeah.
This is what you get though for hitching your wagon to one guy and sources in one camp. That's the mistake that they made. Now, Mikey has multiple sources. You know, he doesn't just rely on a few. And I have a feeling that people like Casey and Grace Randolph, they all have like, you know, a few sources, and they're all in Toby Emmerich's camp. So
yeah. So look, that I have no sympathy for anybody that put any faith in this clown table, yo, because if you really think about it, like, yo, they were on the wrong side of history
from the
right?
beginning.
Yeah. And you can see, like, and I do not, I'm not joking. If you look at what Disney's plan has been to do the opposite of whatever Warner Brothers is doing at that time, and they've been successful with it, right? Yeah, they copied the story from Zach for Infinity War and Endgame and kind of changed it, like, hey, copy my homework, but change a couple answers so it don't look the same, right? But you know, opposite that, they've done everything else the exact opposite of whatever Warner Brothers was doing, and it has driven them to being the biggest movie franchise like of all time, right? And it's made the most money, and they're having all these spin-off projects, and they're keeping their fans so well fed. And just look, like, I really believe that that's why Doctor Strange got cut down, because that movie was supposed to be 2 hours and like about 40 minutes if anybody was following it, right? And then immediately after that Batman movie came out, it was like, this thing's 2 hours now. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Warner Brothers, they put out a 3-hour movie that failed. Hey, we're going to cut ours down to 2 hours, and you're going to make it work. You know what I'm saying? And then look, it makes a whole, just crossed $900 million, right? So, they've had every opportunity to course correct and to do something that would get everybody on board and start making a whole bunch of money, but they failed every time. So I have no sympathy.
Yeah, okay, but because let's be honest, the Batman wasn't a flop, but it wasn't considered a success by the metrics that Warner Brothers needed it to be a success. And this is a fact that people are just missing. They keep thinking that but the Batman was a good movie. Oh, that's good. The Batman is gonna save Toby Emmerich's job. All these things that people were saying about this movie because they were so hyped for Twilight Batman. They were so hyped for this that they thought, it's gonna be great. It's gonna unite the fandom. People had all these delusions of grandeur when it comes to this Batman movie. And what did we get? We get a mid movie that couldn't even crack $1 billion, and Batman v Superman made more money than it did. And Batman v Superman was pulled from theaters 2 weeks early.
Facts. And pulled out of China early too, where it would have made more money.
Yep.
Facts, right? So yeah, man, like, just at every step of the way, they've just made mistake after mistake after mistake. And it's time to rejoice, people. Like, this is the eulogy for the entire clown table regime. I wanted to bring it back into this. Wait, where'd that comment go? Oh, Bad Dan said that I'll be honest, I had faith in Keelar before the Snyder Cut came out, right? Zod, around that time, for a little bit there, right? We kind of was in a position to where we were celebrating the Snyder Cut being announced, right? And we were happy, and we almost let our boot up off their neck for a split second, right? And look what they did. As soon as we did that, they come out with the Ann Sarnoff, it's over speech, right? Like,
right. They revealed their true colors quick. And to be honest, Bat Dan, you had every reason to have faith in Kilar at the beginning, because Kilar was promoting Restore the Snyder Cut. release the Snyder Cut. He wanted, he was he was doing the whole act of pretending like he was on the side of, he was on the right side of history. And then he turned around and showed that he was a card carrying member of the clown table. So what could we do?
Facts, yo. Or he listened to him or whatever, but it's the same result. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just think about that, right? From a business perspective, like from the outside looking in, right? Let's say that you're AT&T and you come in and you buy this company, and you're seeing their fandom ask for one thing, like, hey, release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. And you go to WB and you ask them, like, hey, like, what are they talking about? Like, what's this Snyder Cut thing? And they're like, oh, it's this movie that, and they tell them what it actually is. And AT&T's like, yo, why don't we put this out? Like, let's just put it out. And they're like, oh, nah, let's not. And then AT&T had to override them there, right? So, and then think about that. Then it becomes a massive success, and AT&T's probably looking at it like, yo, hey, why don't we, double down and make more of this, because it's making us a bunch of money, right? And Warner Brothers is still saying no. This was all clown table stuff going on, right? So at that point, I think that's when AT&T realized, like, yo, we got to get out of this thing, man. Like, look, they ain't even trying to make no money.
And people got to realize too that here's the deal. The reason why the clown table was so quick to rain on our parade, like 3 days after the Snyder Cut was released, was because, remember, the clown table never wanted to release the Snyder Cut in the first place. It was AT&T that came to the clown table and said, you got to release the Snyder Cut. You got to put this movie out. They never wanted to do it. So the whole point was just to get it out. So this is kind of like how Emmerich was likely looking at it. Get it out like a really, really bad bowel movement that's been bothering your stomach. Get it out, and then once it's out, we can trash it and make it and start our campaign to belittle it and make the fans look like crazy nut jobs and just totally trash it, because we never wanted it to be released in the first place. AT&T told us we had to release it. AT&T didn't tell us we had to support it. You see what I'm saying? It's not like they were, AT&T never told them you got to put all your advertising and all your power behind the Snyder Cut. They just told them, no, you have to release this movie.
Yeah.
We need content on HBO Max. And remember, that's what Killar was about at the time. Killar was about content on HBO Max. So he's like, okay, we'll put this Snyder Cut out, and once it's out, then we can do what we want. And they didn't wait very long. Again, a couple days later, there was Ann Sarnoff opening her mouth about all of us being toxic and no plans for the Ayer cut. And yeah, this is again typical clown table. This is what happens when you get a company that's forced to do something by somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for AT&T being there, we'd have never got the damn Snyder Cut in the first place. Or
that's
it
very
might have
true. Never would have happened.
Yeah, so
I'll tell you when we would have gotten it. If it wasn't for AT&T, I'll tell you when we would have gotten it. We would have gotten it after this merger. If this merger would have happened, even without, say, AT&T wasn't involved, didn't get involved in whatever after this merger, we would have got the Snyder Cut. It would have probably been one of the first things that Zaslav did.
It would have been instant money.
Right.
Yo, like, Warner Brothers has nothing that they can announce outside of Zack coming back and working in the Snyderverse that would be as lucrative. There's nothing that they can announce right now. What, like, all right, we already got the Dune sequel, right? They already tried to do Matrix, and they ran that into the ground, right? I mean, look at where Harry Potter is right now. I mean, what?
all
Maybe a new
all their
Harry.
franchises are going down the
That's
toilet
what I'm
bowl.
saying. Maybe like what? Maybe a Harry Potter movie with the OG cast. Maybe
Yeah,
like
they should just get the author of the Harry Potter movies, get J.K. Rowling to come in and direct the next Harry Potter movie, have her write and direct the next
with
film with the
with the
OG
OG cast.
cast.
That's the only.
That'll bring people back.
That would be the only thing, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like
That means you get old man. Oh, you make the movie about old man Harry Potter. You get Daniel Radcliffe back up in there. Man, you really do. You want to do because they want to do all these like Logan style stories. That's what they got to do. They got to do a Logan style Harry Potter at this point. A gritty continuation. Like what they're doing with Winnie the Pooh. They're making Winnie the Pooh a gritty, horror movie.
what's it called? Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey. What would Harry Potter be? What the new movie would be? It would have to be real dark and gritty, and so it would be Harry Potter and the Witch Decapitation.
I was about to say, Harry Potter and his ex-wife's lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that. Yeah, for real. They could do. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? There'd be this big trial on Hogwarts, and it would be like a mock trial, like the Johnny Depp and
oh my
Amber
God,
Heard thing.
that'd be great.
And you have Harry Potter up there testifying.
And you got all these other characters coming in testifying for like. What up? And then they bring Ron in, and Ron has to testify against Ron Weasley. That'd be crazy, man. Nah, but just going back to Warner Brothers, though, it's been blunder after blunder, yo. They've like killed so many franchises. They ran Harry Potter, the Suicide Squad, and what was the other one? Oh, and the Matrix 4 both lost over $100 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
but the reality with the Matrix 4 is you could tell that was a movie that the makers of the movie really didn't want to make. I mean, you could tell they didn't want to make it. And if you look at their interviews, and you look at the body language, it's actually in the dialogue too.
It's in the dialogue of the movie. They're like, hey, Warner Brothers was gonna do this sequel with or without you. You know what I'm saying? Like
with or without you.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I think that was absolutely happening. I think they probably got a call and got wind like, hey, they're going to do this thing. And they were like, all right, well, if they're going to do it anyway, I might as well come back. And that's probably what, she thought. So I don't know. But they're just running franchises into the ground. So
that's true. Yes. Yeah,
look,
this is exactly double MJ is 100% right
facts.
here. Facts.
Like, because just think about it, right? If Zack Snyder's Batman vs Superman hits $1 billion, they have no choice but to keep going with his vision.
And they didn't want that, and they knew. See, they were listening again to the vocal minority. The people on social media that were trashing Zach and had been trashing the movies, that's who they listened to. And then they were listening to the paid off critics. And that's why they panicked. They're very reactionary. One thing about Warner Brothers is they're not very preemptive. They're a very reactionary studio, the clown table. So when you have something, they think, oh my God, we better make changes. And that's what it was. It was just a panic move. And, if they would have left BVS in theater, and when you think about it, that would have been more advantageous for them. They might as well have just left it in there, let it make $1 billion. And then no matter what anybody said, hey, this movie made $1 billion. We're justified in continuing with Zack Snyder's vision.
Yep. And like I said, right, I think that was like the first movie that had to make a whole bunch of money and be critically well well received. Like
Yeah.
it was just very strange.
Yeah, but yet they kept making Michael Bay Transformers movies. Just saying. You want to talk about again, critics have been irrelevant for a long, long time now. It's not like critics are suddenly relevant again in 2022. It's that critics are only relevant when they are pushing a certain studio narrative, which is what they were doing. They were basically helping the clown table with their negative narrative that they wanted to use to push Zack Snyder out. That's what it was.
Yeah, because without that, you know, then there's no like they couldn't justify pushing him out, right?
Right.
Without all that
Right.
backlash and stuff.
What we know is that Jeff Johns wanted Zack Snyder out. Jeff Johns wanted more control over the DCEU. So we know that. We also know that the studio wanted Zack Snyder out because they wanted to go in a different direction to appease the vocal minority that was complaining.
Mhm.
But could you imagine? Being this close to literally basically leaving money on the table and saying we're gonna purposely sabotage this movie so that we don't make $1 billion and we can justify a course correction. How stupid can you be? To me, that's like that alone should be was reason enough for Zaslav to come in the way that he is now.
Yeah, because
Come in like a wrecking ball. Like, you guys just leave money sitting there. You guys would have all of this goodwill from this fan base if you just let Zack Snyder keep doing what he's doing, and you'd be making money. And what are you doing now? You're letting a few people on the internet tell you that that you shouldn't, that this isn't right. So you make all these changes, man. If I was that, he's doing right. The way he's just letting people go, firing people left and right. This is beautiful to see.
command and control.
Yeah,
Right.
it's beautiful to see. And it's even more beautiful to know that Mikey and Sil have been right the entire time. That's another thing that's so great about it. I'm just like, you know what?
Facts, yo, because yeah, it doesn't make much sense, man. Like, just
We're gonna leave $1 billion on the table, guys, because we got some vocal minority here that hates Zack Snyder's take on these characters, but a bunch of normies don't care and actually like Batman v Superman. But that's okay. We'll make changes, and we'll leave $1 billion on the table. No problem. It's just $1 billion.
no, like it's really, even John Schnepp famously said that one time that he felt like they left at least about $250 million on the table by just taking that 30 minutes out of BVS. Like, that took out the potential for so much repeat viewing because there was some casuals that didn't like it and they felt that the pacing was off.
I
Right.
saw BVS in theaters 7 times. Okay, so
Hey,
the repeat viewing was there. It was almost at $1 billion. It would have got there if they didn't cut it short. Those are facts. There's no way it would not have crossed $1 billion. These people honestly should never work in this industry again for making such a stupid blunder, for costing the studio so much money at that point.
Nah, it's really horrible, man. Like, just how much money that they've kind of been throwing away. Even if you look at it, like when they brought up that Cry Macho thing with Clint Eastwood, right? They giving a friend hookups, just doing a bunch of stuff that just really, really doesn't yield the best results, and you're seeing the fruits of that now with
Right.
like
They
all of this.
already see WB knew that they wanted to course correct. uneasy with the direction Snyder was going in, and that was the problem. They were uneasy about that. Then they were getting a lot of backlash from the vocal minority, from the betas. They don't, and again, it doesn't help that you had Jeff Johns who wanted to course correct as well, wanted it to be a different vision. So it's crazy to me. I want to see vindication for Zack Snyder yet again, even though I feel like the vindication that we got was the actual Snyder cut in and of itself. That was vindication, but now we're going to get even more vindication. But they would have gotten $1 billion. They totally would have got that $1 billion if they would have just left it in for another 2 weeks, left it in theaters for another 2 weeks. It would have been $1 billion easy. It's because you're saying WB never understood that just because you have Batman and Superman doesn't mean you get $1 billion. You have to build familiarity with the general audience. DC was on the way with Zack, then they screwed it up. Yeah, no, but they would have gotten the $1 billion. This movie was doing well enough. It's just you can't cut the theatrical run short when it's on the cusp of making $1 billion. And because how many times has for example, let's look at Disney, for example. When Disney wants to make a certain amount of money, what do? They'll have their theatrical run, they'll have their movie making their money, and then they'll turn around and put the money right back in the theater to cross over whatever it is that they want to do. But WB is just the opposite. They'll take a movie out, and then because they want to course correct, they have a different narrative. That's why we got Justice League. That's the whole point. Skywalker said he will be back in a moment. And they removed 30 minutes. Yes, here he comes. Here's Skywalker.
Oh yeah. See, I'm back. Like I never left. But look, when you add up everything, that movie probably did make $1 billion, man. Like in terms of like home sales.
I'll give you a hot take, Skywalker. I said this a while ago, and people said I was a conspiracy theorist. I said this. I said BVS made $1 billion. WB just covered it up. It had already crossed the $1 billion mark, and WB hates Snyder's vision and hated what he was doing so much that they hid the numbers and made it seem like it underperformed.
Look, would you be surprised? They already were moving in a way that seemed as if like they were trying to push him out so they could possibly end up setting up this whole damn like DC Marvel crossover that some people swear wasn't going to happen. Then didn't it just come out recently that fucking Kevin Feige was over there talking to DC for a little bit, right? Like,
well, there were some articles that had said that that James Gunn had pitched a couple of ideas to both DC and Marvel about a possible Marvel versus DC crossover film. This can be independently verified. There are articles out there, multiple articles on the internet about it. James Gunn said it himself. But when I said it and I did my big video about it, I was called a conspiracy theorist. So,
literally, like, didn't it just come out that Kevin Feige was trying to talk to DC because he didn't like being up under Ike Perlmutter? Like, I could swear I just saw that the other day. So it's like that's even more evidence, right? That there could have been this whole crossover thing at play, right? And it seems to be like that was more than likely at least attempted or talked about in some of these circles.
Yep.
So Zod's not crazy.
No, I'm
not.
You
know what I'm saying?
I'm not crazy. And I agree with you, Marcus Cruz. I think that Marvel's strategy is a good strategy to take a movie and bring it back into a theater to get it to cross over the amount of money that they that they are hoping for or that they know they can get. Like if a movie is as close to $1 billion as BVS was when they pulled the plug on it, that's what makes me think the movie already made $1 billion and they just hid the numbers because they took it out of the theater when they knew they could have made that money. It made no
Yeah,
sense.
it was still making money, and they cut the theatrical run short. And I've never criticized the MCU's like structure, right? Structurally, what they do, it works for them, right? It has its drawbacks, right? We notice how we kind of complain about a lot of the CGI in some of these movies, but they're putting out a lot of movies, right? Per year even. So structurally, I think that what they do is the right thing. It's just I have a problem with their tone and some of the interconnectivity of them. But in terms of their structure, no, they have a great structure and they have a great strategy for what they put out.
Yep, exactly.
Look, and like I said, BBS was #1 for 5 weeks on home media.
It's one of the best selling. It's one of the best selling Blu-ray discs of all time.
It is. Like, and like it's probably the hottest director's cut, for any movie probably ever, yo. Like, they announced that there was a director's cut before the movie came out, so it was already drumming up.
I had already purchased BVS digitally before I seen it in theaters. It had went up on sale for pre-order through Vudu. You could buy. I remember
that.
You could buy the digital copy, and they already told you that it included the unrated director's cut. So all you had to do was purchase, and I purchased it before I saw the movie. That's how confident I was that I was gonna love the movie. I was like, okay, I'll buy it now, and then when it, I seen it in theaters, I was even more happy, and I kept going back to the theater to see it over and over again. So,
I saw it a bunch of times in theaters, so I was right there with you. But you're absolutely right. And just think about it. They had the perfect opportunity to just put the ultimate edition in theaters, and they didn't even do that. That would have made them a bunch.
That would have been, that would have been smart during those last 2 weeks. If they didn't want to keep the theatrical cut in theaters, they should have switched them out. Took out the theatrical cut, and for the last 2 weeks of the run, put in the ultimate director's cut. But they were using the ultimate director's cut as a selling point for the home video.
Yes, right. And they were probably looking at it like, okay, well, if we do that too, then it'll probably, cut out some of the home video sales. But you've been making that up in theater money. Like it's just so weird, Joe. Just how they've acted this whole time. And that's why I say that it's really a true situation of like they needed to go. There was no like coming back from all this, yo. The way that they have behaved this entire time has been reprehensible. It's cost their company a bunch of money. They've dropped in prestige precipitously. You know what I'm saying? Like they were one of the most prestigious film companies out there. And now look, they're on one of the worst places to work. Ray Fisher's always calling somebody else out, right? Pointing out some other injustices. You know what I'm saying?
But I just love how Ray Fisher tweets whenever there's a firing, and he points to what they did and one of the things they were responsible for. Oh, there's another one that was fired. I'm like, yep. There you go. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yo, I feel it, man. Like, it is a beautiful thing, and we've kind of been here and we've been pushing for this, right? It's been so much. Oh my God! See, I actually just thought about this too. Isn't it crazy how Grace Randolph just kind of admitted that the fans pushing for fire Toby Emmerich worked? Yo, like it's crazy because she was just sitting there telling us like, yo, that we didn't do anything, right? And that our efforts were for nothing, and all these things. But now all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, and fan pushback, and it's like, yo, like who would come into a company, right? And it's mass calls from fans to fire the CEO or like whatever. And why would you keep that person there? If you buy your way into a business and people are saying, yeah, like the head of this thing is like, he's this and he's that and he's covering up for people and he's doing all of these things, right? Like, why would Zaslav keep that guy there? He was never going to stay, yo. The crown table's been done from the time this merger was announced.
Yep. Just like Sil and Mikey said.
You know what I'm saying? And got so much crap for that, right? So much pushback. You know what I'm saying? Phil and Mikey were called every name in the book. Grifters, you know what I'm saying? Like evil super chats, this, that, and the third, right? But it's just a beautiful time, Zai. It's a really beautiful time, and I'm enjoying this, man, because these are the last days of all this BS, yo. Like, that's what I'm really glad about.
The last days of the cloud table fallout. That's what it is. That we need to do a documentary. The last days of the cloud table. You get could you imagine? Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. Yo, I wish that I wish that not only that we get that documentary, but I want an inside look at the last days of the clown table, yo. I need like video from their offices, you know what I'm saying? From like
I want to see the lunchroom.
like what are these water cooler conversations like? You know what I'm saying? Like yo,
is there anybody like office space fighting with the printer?
Right? Like, yo, I swear. It's beautiful. Because not only were they kind of like anti Zach or whatever in the way that they were moving, but they were also like vocally anti Snyder fans, right? Especially the later that we got on, and it kind of culminated in that Ann Sarnoff article, right? Where she just kind of let us have it, right? And I just think it's all karma, yo. You can't put that kind of energy out into the world and then not expect it to come back.
Yeah, I think the funny part is, and this is to me, in what world, okay, does a CEO come out when a movie is finally released that everybody wanted and people are giving it all kinds of positive buzz and are happy? In what world does the CEO come out, give an interview, trashing those fans and basically telling them that I hope you enjoyed this because you're not getting shit else. In fact, it's a cul-de-sac. So guess what? We're not developing air cut. We're not doing anything. So in other words, you're basically just you're putting it out, and then you're putting it out of spite because you didn't want to put it out in the first place. You were forced to put it out. And then on top of that, you're giving the fans the finger afterwards. I don't understand. I don't understand in what world a CEO of a company whose first priority is to make money legitimately does that. She should have been fired on the spot for that article alone, for the things that she said in that article. She should have been shown the door. The security should have came immediately after that article came out and been like, Ann, get your stuff. We're going to escort you out. And that should have been it. She should have been fired day one. I mean, who does that? I've never seen anything like that. Like, your primary goal, regardless of what your plans are, regardless of what you like or don't like, this is how you know that it was personal for the clown table. This is how you know it was personal for Ann Sarnoff. And what I can't understand is we were all in the Snyder Cut fandom, we were all very nice to Ann Sarnoff. We sent Ann Sarnoff letters. We sent Ann Sarnoff all kinds of things. And Ann Sarnoff, and this is what Ann Sarnoff does, basically gives the finger to all of us, calls us toxic, says that we're all crazy, says there's nothing else coming. Like, you're not getting nothing. You're not getting anything else from us. So we hope you enjoy it. Consider the Snyder trilogy. Consider the Snyder Cut, the swan song. We appreciate everything that Zach has done, but adios. That's basically what, I feel like she signed her own death warrant at that point.
She did.
Because no CEO keeps their job by attacking your customer base. That's not how you keep your company thriving. Wow! I had to think back just to how bad that article actually was, and I realized, Ann Sarnoff deserves all the hate she got. To be real, unbelievable.
Yo, look, on Skywalker the Jedi's channel, you know what I'm saying? We have people that, I really rock with, and I try to bring them on sometimes, to talk certain things. I got some more shows coming, with some other people that, I want to let y'all talk to on here. But we do got a special guest tonight as well. You know what I'm saying? I want to introduce a man who's about to be talking the last days of the clown table with you guys. The one and only Jeffrey Warfield, the Watchtower, is in the building. You know what I'm saying? Hey. What up, sir?
Jeffrey.
How you feeling?
Nothing, man, nothing. But yeah, really, I can't, really, this is the only thing that I'm really shocked by this is that how quickly things have been coming out. First we got Ann Sarnoff out, which no one was really surprised that she was gone first. But then we got Jason Kilar, then eventually Toby Emmerich, which was the big one. A lot of people were I was actually shocked by that. I actually woke up from my nap and thought I was dreaming, because I was like, man, ain't no way this happened. but it did happen. So yeah, all that's left now is Walter Hamada.
And even Walter ain't even a threat no more, man. He's defamed, depowered. You know what I'm saying? Dude is a lame duck, He's just waiting for he's just waiting for his.
He's already been given his walking papers. He's just waiting for his replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally just waiting to hear who is gonna be replacing him, That's it. So anybody saying, hey, Walter is still some kind of threat, or he's still, a major player.
I love how these morons were using the deposition in the Amber Heard case as evidence that Walter Hamada was not going anywhere. See, Walter said he never talked to Zach. See.
Yeah, and then
it was dated pre-merger too. It's a timestamp on the damn video.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's a timestamp on the video itself. This stuff is too easy, man. It's too easy. But look, Watchtower. What I want to get your take on is, just, because with you being here in this fandom for this long, right? How does it feel, now knowing that the people, right, that were all behind everything that has caused our fandom so much grief and despair and late nights and you know what I'm saying, like and all this effort. How does it feel now knowing that they're all gone? Like they're all gone. Cause and I'm even throwing Walter in there too, because in my mind, dude's gone. Like, there is nothing more that, he can like really do to really, be able to redeem himself. So how are you feeling?
I'm just saying, guess I can say this. All the bad children are gone. Like straight up, it's been a long road, but all the bad children are gone. Like it just feels great and liberating, really.
Yeah, man. Like, it's really at a point where I think that, we can really just kind of start to breathe easy or breathe a little bit easier, right? You know, Even look at what Ray Fisher just posted earlier, right? He got the no problems going on, right? And we still got betas and stuff getting triggered and can't even let Ray Fisher be happy, right? They calling him the N word and stuff, right?
I saw that. I saw that.
Right. So that just lets you know where these beta mindsets are at. You know what I'm saying? But the betas can't sit with us. But yeah, so Zod, I want to ask you, right? With everything that has been going on recently in terms of like all of these W's that we've been getting as a fandom, um, do you foresee it being a swift kind of like change up with some of these antis, or is it going to be like a gradual kind of thing?
Well, as I was saying before, what we're seeing a lot of meltdowns occurring right now. We're seeing people lose their minds in ways that any rational person wouldn't be losing their minds. But these people are not rational because they're losing their clout, they're losing their sources, they're losing their access. And that's what this is about to these people. It's about access. So when they find new sources and they find new access points that are more in line with the new regime, then they will change their tune. They will change their structure. Because make no mistake, when KC without the F, when he finally gets another source, any new source that he gets is going to be a new regime source. So therefore, they're going to be feeding him more pro Snyder information, more pro what Mikey and Scylla have been saying. And when he starts hearing that stuff, that's going to make his head spin even more. And he's going to do one of two things. He's either going to embrace it or go with it because he's going to want that continued access, or he's going to have a straight up meltdown and he's just going to quit social media altogether. Now, I don't know how much how realistic that is, considering the guy has already said at least once or twice already that he was retiring and that he was quitting, but yet somehow he's still on social media.
Right.
He's still doing the Twitter version of Google Hangouts. So I don't know. Okay, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of someone who sees that these are people who are losing their grip. They no longer have sources. When you don't have sources, okay, you can't really criticize somebody else because you don't have sources, so you don't know. You don't have to believe it, but it's kind of funny how I always thought there was sort of a code among scoopers where they shouldn't really criticize each other because a lot of the information tends to intersect and you don't know who they know or they don't know who you know. So it kind of doesn't make sense for them to be like at war with each other. but
It doesn't.
there's
It makes no sense.
like there's kind of seems like there's this tug of war going on between scoopers about who's right, who's wrong, who knows the truth, who doesn't, and it's all just ridiculous to me. And like you said, the amount of W's that Sil and Mikey are pulling in right now is unheard of. Like, I mean, my God, like I keep saying, the day that Mikey Sutton gets an L, that's going to be a big deal, because he's been right about so much. He's setting himself up for it's like, my God, dude, like you're on point. But see, this is how you know the difference between somebody who's been a scooper and been in the industry for 30 years and actually has built up relationships and legit sources versus someone with like Casey who really doesn't know anything and needs to, and whose primary concern is, can he make sure that he has enough pink hair dye? I mean, that's really, that's really what this all boils down to. And you can scream all you want, you can rant and rave like a lunatic, and you can be irrational, and you can throw all the temper tantrums you want, but throwing a temper tantrum isn't going to make you right just because you threw a temper tantrum. So yeah,
right. Okay, and that goes really into this whole thing. Like I remember watching a Cat Williams comedy special back a little while ago, 2006, I believe, where Cat Williams basically went on a whole tirade on haters and basically saying that it's their job to hate. And if you really think about it, it's really the same thing with all these scoopers nowadays trying to be anti-Snyder. It's like their job, and because they want to keep all that access. And it's like, dude, I get it, you want that access, but I think I would rather want to be right about something and lose that access, because then at least I'm right on something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like I've been told before that, hey man, a lot of YouTubers, they kind of flip flop or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean that I have to respect it, right? I respect people that, stick to their word, and like, hey, like if that's what you feel, just say it, right? Or if you're hearing a certain thing, I don't mind you just saying that either, but as long as it's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
And if it's not coming from a real place, then I can't respect it, right? And that's my problem with a lot of this flip-flopping, right? I mean, it is okay to, say that some things might happen, or you want certain things to happen, and if they don't, then okay, yeah, you gotta take that L. But I prefer people that stick to their guns and be themselves rather than trying to play some character and just for lack of a better term, grift people, because that's really what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are the grifters and the ones that feel bad about these super chats that they get, right? And so they project that onto other people, like, oh yeah, they're getting these evil super chats, right? And they're cult leaders and their followers and all this other stuff, and they're lying to you guys. They're locking information behind a paywall. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all these things as if Phil is the first person to have member content or to get super chats or whatever.
Yeah, like that.
It's just from a place of hate.
Yeah, like that whole Oscar fiasco. Yeah, like
the Oscar that didn't mean anything, right?
Yeah, like when that whole Oscars thing came back up again with the whole rigged thing, I was like, dude, come on. I'm just tired at this point.
I just have one thing to say about that, you guys. People's champ. People's champ.
Yeah.
Saying people's champ.
Yep.
People's champ, yo.
People-
Yo, you know what? And it's so funny that when I was talking with Seal about that on here, and he brought up that, hey, you know, that all kind of started. A lot of this stuff going on. It's funny. It can be traced back to that damn fan vote, yo.
People's
That,
champ.
Yeah.
that fan vote got a lot of people in they feelings, though. But you know, hey, when you turn on those lights and those roaches scatter, you know that's what they are born to do. They're born to scatter when you turn them lights on. So you know, just watch for them. Man, you know, we got Koopy Malik in here. You know what I'm saying? Mikey didn't want to sugarcoat anything. What he heard, he told, even if it were not in our favor. Now that's integrity. Yo,
Yep.
that's what I'm saying, yo. They wasn't there for all them bourbon streams, y'all. They
Yeah.
wasn't getting that bourbon. That bourbon was being served every day for weeks. It was like a month straight, right? It was like a month straight of bourbon.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Zod? All that bourbon that we was getting, yo?
We were getting so much bourbon. It was like, man, at one point I was thinking, man, if I'm gonna keep watching you guys, I'm gonna become an alcoholic. I'd probably be better off watching some of the betas. At least I know they're gonna tell me stuff I don't want to hear. I mean, but see, this is how you learn. This is how we were able to completely learn that you can trust what Mikey is saying. Because if Mikey is not just telling you things that you want to hear, and he's telling you everything, he's telling you what he's hearing, that takes a level of integrity that a lot of these other people don't have. A lot of these people, other people out there are just trying to appeal to one specific base. And let's be honest, Mikey has said it himself. He was not the world's biggest Zack Snyder fan. He didn't come around to what Zack Snyder was doing until he saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, you know, for people that are going around now calling Mikey, you know, the world's biggest Snyder cult leader, and that he's, to me that's how you know that the bias is 100% real. That's how you know that people just have no idea what they're talking about, and you can't take Mr. Shots in the Dark seriously about anything.
Yo,
period.
I was just about to say, you know, because it's funny because they're even admitting that they don't watch said content, but they're commenting on it. Like that's just what, you know. There's like several layers to this whole thing that I just don't understand. But you know, at the end of the day, I think it all circles back to, you know, this clown table being gone is bigger than, you know, they would like to admit, right? They know what this means, right?
Yeah.
And it's just weird how, like, you know, all these
Especially
Toby
Grace,
defenders.
she really knows what it means. Grace
Yeah.
Randolph, she really knows what it means. You can so tell. Oh God, poor Grace.
Man, when I saw that tweet she put out, I was like, "Oh, she's definitely mad."
She's in denial. She's so in denial. She's going through the 5 stages of grief right now. All right, it's
Man, yo, you know, Grace made her own bed though, guys. So I don't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like she dug her heels in and really was all like, yo, it's not happening, guys. You know, after she had Zach on her channel multiple times. Right. So yeah, I really think that the clown table being taken out really put these people on notice. And I think that's why they're acting this way. What you think, Jeff?
Really, like, yeah, I think it does make sense too, because the thing is, like, people say all the time that, oh, just because you follow Zach doesn't mean anything. A post like this can mean anything, yada yada yada. But the thing is, like, aside from getting cryptic posts from Zach now, we're actually seeing stuff that's happening that's happening publicly. Like we're actually seeing people being let go of jobs that were anti-Snyder. We're actually seeing moves being made on the chessboard in public, mind you, at this point. So it's like I'm just saying, like I'm seeing Zach, Clay Staub, and some of these other people being like, man, I being like, hey, there might be something that might be going down. Like people, like this is how I basically see this whole thing. Like Snyder antis are trying to block a whole tsunami while we're just playing chess while we're playing chess, moving, seeing the like we're seeing this whole chessboard of all these pieces being moved around and being like, yeah, we're definitely winning. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
But look, you know, in terms of chess pieces, this was checkmate, yo. This
Yeah,
was checkmate.
this is definitely
It is. It's a wrap. Like Toby was the big domino that everybody was waiting for, right? Toby was the one they was all saying, "Oh yeah, but Toby, he's not gonna go anywhere," and this, that, and the third, right? But now this was really one of those like come to Jesus moments where it's like, yo, what are you gonna say now?
yeah.
Who is my only question is who's her new source going to be? Because she obviously her sources were obviously in Toby's camp, and Toby's out of here. So who's she got now?
That's a good question.
Maybe she'll reach out to Mikey.
Wow.
Yeah.
She'd have to swallow a huge. She'll have to swallow.
Well, yeah, she'll have to swallow. We know this, but that's
Hey, nah, dude,
hey,
bros. You know what I'm
hey,
saying? I
hey.
think hashtag dude, bros.
I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
hey, maybe Silk will throw her a bone and have her on a couple of streams. It's kind of just, it's like, oh, okay. So Grace, you effed up, but it's cool. We'll throw you a couple of bows. But you're gonna have to take a different. You're gonna have to take a different approach now, Grace. You're gonna have to be like Midnight's Edge and bow down to Mikey Sutton. And once you do that,
Right? It's almost like the whole thing with Warner Brothers. Like if they'd have just done what we asked them to do, none of this stuff would have happened.
none of this would have happened.
And now it's the same thing with like, yo, if you guys come kiss the ring, you know what I'm saying? Like
this is a big example of give the people what they want.
Right.
You don't push your fans away. You don't make your fan base feel like garbage. You embrace your fan base because they're the ones supporting you. They're the ones giving you money. They're the ones who keep funding your product so that you can continue to make more product.
Right.
Why would you want to hurt your fan base? Makes no sense.
Right. And the thing is too, like going back to that Antonov article real quick, because I see a lot of people still going on me about, oh, you guys didn't need to go that hard on Antonov. But really think about this logically, okay? Really think about this logically. If you like, we've been fighting for a movie for 3 years now. For 3 years, then we get the announcement that Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out. Then we see Zack Snyder's Justice League, all 4 hours of it, and it's basically a 3 day celebration, because I still remember the day the article came out. 3 days, so 3 days the internet is celebrating Zack Snyder's Justice League, and people are talking about, man, I can't wait for more. I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see Darkseid versus the entire Justice League. I can't wait to see the Nightmare Future as an entire movie. I can't wait to see all this other stuff that's going on. So then 3 days later, it's like, so then 3 days later, Ansonov comes in with an article saying, no, we're not doing any more of that. And it's like, dude, you didn't wait for the hype to die down at all. And it's like, you pretty much crashed the entire party. And it's pretty much like once that article came out, you were pretty much asking for violence. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Jeffrey. I just don't see how that makes sense from a company marketing perspective. When you have all this buzz around a product that you just put out as a company, and you have people talking about it, and for the examples you gave, Jeffrey, were just a few of the many examples of people being excited for this content, being excited for more of what WB has to offer. And what does she do? What's her response? To come and pour cold water over all of it and be like, well, you know, the hell with you. Like she basically did the equivalent of, you know, the big party going on at the house, the parents come home and kick everybody out. That's essentially what she did. It's like the party's over. You guys are all losers. Get the hell out of here. That's what she basically, you know, you can kind of look at it in that equivalent. So I'm with you 100%. She deserves all the hate that she got. She deserved to get thrown out, you know, and don't let the door hit you on the way out, because you know what? You're a loser, Ann Sarnoff. You don't bring anything you didn't bring anything to the table, and all she did was Toby Emmerich's bidding. And now look at where they all are. It's incredible.
Yeah, man, like but yeah, like it's just like people are so desperate now that it's really like the same thing like before the Snyder Cut announcement came out, where you have all these scoopers saying that, oh, this doesn't mean anything, this doesn't mean anything. Same thing with which is like the same thing that happened with the Snyder Cut. It's like, dude, we've been through this again. We've been through this before. Have you not seen this? You've actually been on kind of like the other side of it, and you're still on this losing side, saying like, "Oh, nothing's happening." But then it's like, but then I'm looking at it, and it's like, dude, it's the exact same thing. And probably in a few months, I wouldn't be surprised if it's November. But yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if it's November that we get a announcement sometime down the line, because like you guys are, because I'm gonna be 100% real. They're being really aggressive with saying that the Snyderverse is dead. Leave it alone.
Look, like Kubi Malik here says, Ann Sarnoff's article is a very bad move. Not only is it unwise, the grammar used are also quite harsh for the company PR, in my opinion.
Yep.
And this is backing up what Jeffrey was just saying. They didn't even wait for the hype to die down, yo. This was like this is literally like them opening weekend for Avengers 1 coming out and saying, hey guys, we're not gonna give you a sequel. Right? Like, how dumb is that?
Well, not only saying we're not going to give you a sequel, but then on top of it, telling the fans to stop asking for it and calling us a bunch of toxic a-holes. Because that's the other thing she did. She basically called us she called out the behavior of the fandom.
Facts.
So
called us toxic, all that.
Basically, yeah. We got you right where we want you. We put out, you know, your Snyder Cut. You got your movie, but guess what? You're not getting any dinner, kids. Go to bed.
And this is the craziest thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League and really how it became successful. Like, really, I want people to really think about this. I really want people to think about this. Zack Snyder's Justice League, when it came to the PR stuff, was mainly promoted on two things by Zack Snyder fans on Twitter and YouTube. Like there was no Comic-Con. Like, yeah, there was that one IGN Fan Fest thing that happened, but other than that, it was just simply Twitter and YouTube that was promoting it, and it still crashed the servers. Like really think about that. A movie that was heavily promoted via YouTube and Twitter broke broke the servers of HBO Max. Really think about that.
Yo,
no thanks to WB.
Oh,
that's what I'm about to say. Like, can you guys?
And one more thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire movie was leaked on HBO Max a few days prior to the official date.
On Tom and Jerry.
Yep. Yep.
Right. And then, but look, here is my thing, right? Can you guys imagine the type of numbers that the Snyder Cut would have done if, like, Warner Brothers put their full promotional arm behind that movie?
With calzones, with extra Catwoman sauce and all that too. Yeah,
but they didn't want it, right?
They could have did like a Red Lobster, deal with the Aquaman,
the Steppenwolf salad,
or the smelly flounder.
I mean, contraire, my little fish stick.
They could add fish sticks and little. Wow! Oh my God!
See, it was all there. It was all there. It's just right.
It was really all there.
It was all there. Yeah. No, but I think that if they would have put their full full promotional arm behind that movie with the billboards and the bus ads and all that stuff, like they usually do, I feel like that thing would have been massive. But that's not what they wanted, right? They didn't want it to be big. They tried to suppress it as much as they could, even through ways like not really releasing it internationally at the same time, which Zach knew that was a huge deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, he was even fighting those battles. So, yeah, they really acted in a way that was contrary to what we wanted as a fandom, pretty much every single step of the way.
Yep. And the thing is too, Zack Snyder's Justice League, as promoted by multiple streaming services worldwide, was reporting that it broke records. Like, it broke streaming records. So.
Yep. And like Max said, they unlisted the trailer on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That was something else that they did. Right. Who does that?
Yeah, come on, you're supposed to be making money. Like, really think about this. And that's another dumb thing that people should really think about. Like, not only did you guys WB literally made a trailer to promote the Blu-ray DVD sales of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, they literally made it. They made it, and they put it as unlisted. It's if that were the case, you might as well have not made it at all.
Yep. Integrity just said they could have done trilogy screenings in select cities. They absolutely could have done that, right? But yeah. But Zod, tell me if you think I'm right. But I think that they wanted to go through all lengths to keep Zack Snyder's Justice League out of theaters, because I feel like they can't hide those numbers.
No, you're absolutely right. They cannot hide that. And
They can't
that's
hide
the
that.
reason why they went through a lot of trouble to hide the fact that BVS crossed $1 billion. They had to hide those numbers, and they didn't want to show that Zack Snyder's. Could you imagine the numbers that Zack Snyder's Justice League would have did if it would have just gotten like a small showing, even if it would have only gotten a 3-day run or something like that? The thing would have broke records again. Because any chance you would have got during a pandemic, and if you would have had a chance to go to the movie theater and watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think a lot of people would have did it. I know I would.
Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
But that's the thing, Zod. Like really, a lot of people don't know about this, but I actually talked to some people, and they said that they actually called their local. They actually called their theaters like Cinemark and AMC, and they were asking if they could see Zack Snyder's Justice League in theaters, because at the time they were doing that whole rental thing. Like you could rent a whole movie theater to see a movie, and they actually said that when they called the manager, they said that WB wouldn't allow them to.
Yeah.
So when people act like WB wasn't fully against releasing this goes back to what we've been saying, that it was all AT&T. We have AT&T to thank that we even got the Snyder Cut, because the Clown Table would not have put it out at all. Okay.
Yep.
And this is why it took so long to come out on Blu-ray and 4K in the United States, why all of us had to import our copies from Europe, because the reality is they didn't even really want to put the movie out in the US on home video, on physical media. They didn't. They actually, you could tell that they actually were thinking about seeing if they could get away with leaving it exclusively on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Facts, yo. And if anybody's questioning that still, to Double MJ's point, they re-released the Justice League trailer. And
the thing is too, a lot of people really didn't
they like upscale it or something too? Like there's they did a
4K version of it.
And the thing is too, a lot of people didn't really pay attention to this, but the audio was actually messed up in the trailer. I actually went back and actually watched it for the torture. Yeah, it was kind of torturous, but it was like, at first I thought it was my headphones at the time, because I was listening in on my headphones. But no, the actual 4K trailer was really gravelly when it comes to their audio and how the voices are sounding. So it's like they bum rushed that 4K trailer.
I mean, but are you shocked though? Like, they're known for rushing stuff. This is the same. This is the same company that reshot and redid a Justice League movie in like 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, so of course they'll rush a damn trailer out. Like a trailer is nothing. That's like peanuts compared to what they do.
Joss Whedon is like, we're gonna shoot this guerrilla backyard style. Let's get this done.
He's like, yo, hold my beer. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this shit. Nah, man, no, look.
It's like they told Joss Whedon, you have 3 days to shoot this, and it shows. You got 3 days to shoot this.
Hey, and you got to use one of those days to write new dialogue. You know what I'm saying? So reality, you only got two.
But yeah, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that Warner Brothers couldn't replace a mustache, while Zack with Army of the Dead could replace a whole person of the opposite sex.
That was the ultimate. That was the ultimate. That was the ultimate FU to show that Zach could literally replace an entire character and they could replace a mustache. That was dope. Like, when you think about it, like you look at the mustache and you look at her side by side, you're like, yeah, we know who the real professionals are, don't I mean, we saw people on YouTube who were able to correct Henry Cavill's face better than Warner Brothers.
Those are facts. Look at Integrity's comment. It says the weirdest thing about Affleck is you can argue he's both the best and the worst Batman on film. BVS was amazing, but Justice League Batfleck was terrible.
Oh yeah, Justice League Batfleck was worse than Clooney. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yo, when he said I didn't not miss you, oh my God. And just something's definitely bleeding. Yo, like, you know what's funny is like when I used to compare Batman or just comparing the Marvel movies to the DC movies in general, I would always say like, what do you want? Like Batman cracking one-liners? And everybody always says no. But Justice League really gave that to us. Like Batman cracking one-liners.
Yep.
You know, and look, we talking about the same people that made Justice League possible, that gave you the, such bangers like Shazam, Birds of Prey, like, you know what I'm saying? The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, right? Like, these are some of the Clown Table's greatest hits right here. You know what I'm saying? So,
aren't you waiting? Aren't you gonna wait for the Clown Table 4K Blu-ray box set? Because
oh my God,
they need to put out a box set. The greatest hits of the Clown Table be all those movies. They ought to make the Clown Table. The Zaslav ought to make the Clown Table an actual release label, so that they can release these movies in a box set.
But yeah,
Justice League will be there.
Did Steve Trevor tell you that?
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, dude, for real though, it's really strange how I really haven't seen Peacemaker at all, and people tell me why haven't, and people tell me hey, you saw James Gunn's Suicide Squad, why aren't you seeing Peacemaker? And every time I always say the exact same response. I saw the Suicide Squad, and I know that just from the trailers, I'm not gonna love Peacemaker, so I'm not gonna waste my time with it. And I say that in the nicest way, because it's dude, I don't want to hate watch. I really don't want to hate watch something I'm expecting to hate. It's a waste of time.
Right.
I felt the same way.
You're putting yourself in a bad spot, and it's you putting yourself like a hell of your own making. Why would you want to do that? Like, if you already know, if you trust, that's the thing. People don't realize, there's such a thing as trusting your instincts. And if your instincts are telling you that you're going to hate something, and by all accounts, you're going to hate it. So just, if you didn't like the movie, you're not going to like the series. So don't put yourself.
I felt the same way. Like, I did not like the Suicide Squad at all. I did not feel like it had any redeeming qualities, right? And so when I saw the Peacemaker show coming up, I watched that first trailer, and I was like, nope, not for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like the movie at all. Why am I going to sit here and watch a show about a character that I didn't like from a movie that I didn't like, right? It just made no sense. So, I didn't watch it either. I didn't watch a minute of that show. The only thing that I saw from that show at all is what I've seen in memes and GIFs, and I saw that clip of the Justice League at the very end. That was it.
Yeah, that was all over. But yeah, another thing is people are probably gonna take it as really just a DC thing about me not watching things that interest me. But really, the same thing kind of goes for the Disney shows on Disney Plus. Like, for example, I haven't seen WandaVision yet, even though Doctor Strange 2 has come out. I still have no interest to see WandaVision. And this might shock you, but I haven't seen The Mandalorian either. Like,
Mhm.
to me, it just doesn't seem like it would be a show that would interest me. So it's like it's not just a DC thing; it's just really kind of like a entertainment in general thing.
Yeah, like, why put yourself through something that you don't think that you're gonna like? You know what I'm saying? Like, if something doesn't grab you, you're not forced to watch it. And I think that that's something else that we kind of get lost in
Yeah,
nowadays.
we've got so many different content options that it makes no sense to suffer through stuff you don't like. You could go through your entire life and never watch anything that you don't like because there's so many options available. I mean,
we're in the times of streaming, people. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? These are the beautiful times that we are in. If you guys have any like last minute questions or comments, I want you guys to put it in the chat. We're gonna be wrapping up here in like the next like 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, look, just like Integrity said here earlier, as a Batman nerd that saw every film in theaters, it feels weird knowing I'm gonna go out and buy Top Gun Maverick on Blu-ray, but I'm not buying the Batman.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yo, and I'm sorry, Top Gun Maverick is like a far superior movie than the Batman is.
Oh yeah.
Far superior. And yeah, it's kind of that same thing where these are clown table specials though, right? Like all these recent films and failures and flops and stuff, and things that have divided the fandom. Excuse me, the Batman wasn't a flop. But excuse me. But it didn't live up to their expectations as a studio. And not only that, but they put out so much divisive content before that and even after that, right? With them trying to announce this Wonder Twins movie, right? And trying to like super fast track all of these projects through so that they can get their damn producing points. And it's just really despicable all around. To just see them trying to just bastardizing something that we've been so passionate over, which is these specific DC characters and these movies. So I have no sympathy once again.
Yeah.
Have you seen Top Gun, Jeff?
Yeah, I have. It's great.
Everybody's loving that movie. Everybody's loving that movie. What about you, Zod?
yes, a wonderful film. Wonderful.
Yo, Clown Table could never. they could never. Right? Look, just think about that. Right? They went and revived a super old franchise. Right? Made a sequel that is respectful to the first one, but still pushes the story forward. Got the same character in there playing the same the same actor playing the same character, brought back legacy characters and all, like it was juggling all these things and it landed in every way, but yet they can't even get this damn Michael Keaton Thomas Wayne stuff sorted out. They're probably gonna bring this guy back as Thomas Wayne.
Right. And the thing is too, it's like I see DC is like trying to push Michael Keaton's return being like something big, but it's like even though I do love Michael Keaton as a Batman, it's kind of like I'm not feeling the hype for it, you know? Like it's really weird.
No, it's not weird. He's like 70. like you know what I'm saying? Like look, we just got Batfleck in the Snyder cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm sorry. Batfleck versus Michael Keaton, that's a no-brainer right now.
But yeah, like like really think about how weird that is. Like we got the return of Batfleck in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then we get a new Batman, a new version of Batman in Robert and Matt Reeves' Batman. Then we're going back to Michael Keaton. Like this is what I mean when it's like weird. It's like which era are you sticking with? New, present, old? Like, like you can't.
You think that's funny? The next Batman movie is going to be with Adam West. They're going to resurrect Adam West digitally for the next film, guaranteed, man. It's crazy. Like, and
They
they're gonna
already talking about bringing Stan Lee back.
and they're gonna digitize Christopher Reeve, of course.
But yeah, this is what I mean when it comes
Why
to.
don't you bring back Brandon Routh? Like
But
I don't even understand. Like, it's way easier. He's the same character. Like, why don't we just?
yeah, and that's
Right. It was like an acceptable change. I mean, it was like, okay, whatever. Like,
yeah,
dude is close enough. I mean,
yeah, and it's really like the whole thing with Brandon Ralph is like when Superman Returns came out, I thought he was okay as Superman. I really didn't get the hate for him, like being the whole samey thing. Like when people were hating on his Superman for being too much like Christopher Reeves. Really, I wasn't on that whole thing because I didn't see Christopher Reeves Superman at the time. But then it was like still like, wait, you're hating. But then when Henry Cavill came in, the whole hypocrisy thing came up. Like, wait, hold on. So you're hating. So you hate Brandon Routh's Superman for being like Christopher Reeves, but you're hating Zack Snyder's Superman for not being like Christopher Reeves. like and once again,
do you guys remember back before Man of Steel came out? There was an internet campaign because people wanted Zack Snyder to cast Brandon Routh for Man of Steel. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there were articles that were out about a fan groundswell to get Zach to cast him, and Zach had actually commented on it and said, "I didn't realize there was such a groundswell for Brandon Routh to come back." But Zach still ended up doing what he wanted to do. But the point was, there was actually a fan campaign to bring. To give Brandon Routh redemption and maybe give him Man of Steel. So fans still like Brandon Routh. I mean, if you really want to do the Christopher Reeve thing, it's like Skywalker says, you might as well just go to Brandon Routh because he's alive.
Right, and now that I think about it, I do remember when they were doing that Crisis on Infinite Earths event on CW. There were those rumors going around about Brandon Routh's Superman actually getting his own HBO Max series.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
they were saying there was going to be Kingdom Come.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, to me, when it came to Crisis on Infinite Earths, like Brandon Routh as Superman was really the best part of that whole event. Like, which really, like, one more thing about the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths event thing. Like, I really do find it stupid, and I really do find it actually infuriating about this. Remember that Flash meets Flash moment happened, and we thought it would lead to bigger and better things for DC, but now we just talk about it in passing as though it was just a moment.
Actually, Jeff, I think that was the moment Zach came back. I think that's when, because if you remember, that was right around the time. Wasn't that near around the time that Mikey's scoop came out too about the Snyder Cut coming back in November, right?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't use that without Zach's permission, right? I think that was like a little tease, like, hey guys, Zach might be coming back. because they actually can't use that depiction of Flash without Zach's permission. Like they can't.
I do know this. I do know this from this is the only thing that I do know about it that is actually concrete. There was an interview with Greg Berlanti, the head person of the Arrowverse. I don't at the time. I don't know if he's the head still right now, but there was this interview with Greg Berlanti, who was at the time head of the Arrowverse, and he was asked that question about the Flash meets Flash moment, and he said that that actually came last minute, and he actually said to ask Jim Lee about it. So no one really has asked Jim Lee about that. So yeah. But yeah, that definitely. But yeah, it is confirmed that that Flash meets Flash moment was last minute.
Yeah. Zod, Chad Snyderverse is asking a question. He says, Zod Ryder, wasn't Superman Returns 2 going to be called Man of Steel, ironically enough?
I'm not sure. I remember hearing that Superman, the sequel to Superman Returns, was supposed to be a lot darker, and I think Brainiac was supposed to be the villain, and it was. I remember reading that Bryan Singer had said it was gonna. He compared it to Star Trek and said it was gonna be like the Superman version of Wrath of Khan, kind of. So it was gonna be a real dark Superman story. I don't remember them settling on a title. I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think they said they were going to call it Man of Tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't really remember exactly, but I think you know, a Superman Returns sequel might have happened if they would have put a little more action in Superman Returns. I mean, I'm just saying.
Because that was my thing. He doesn't throw one punch in the whole movie, right? Like, there's no punches thrown.
Right.
Yeah, but in Man of Steel, he threw too many punches, so it was too much.
Why did he jump over that tanker and let it blow up? Like, this dude just became Superman, and everybody's all mad. But hey,
right. This is like Superman Day One.
What were you saying, Jeff?
Like people tend to forget that this was basically Superman Day One, where he learned to fly like, let's say, a week ago. Like, judging from the timeline of Man of Steel, like he first learned to fly in a week, and he's facing these military Kryptonians that are quick to adapt. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
and like I said, Zod is getting stronger and stronger as the minute goes by, and he's already been training his whole life. Clark's only advantage was that he knew how to use his powers more on Earth, and Zod was figuring it out super quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, how long did it take Superman to learn how to fly versus how long it took Zod? That'll show you right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like,
just remember that line, on a farm.
I was just about to say that. And he said, I trained my whole life. And where did you train? On a farm? Like, that's real talk. Like,
Yeah, like really think about this. Like, he straight up says, I've trained to hone my senses. And it's like, and not only that, it's like you do see that in the movie prior to that monologue, where you see Zod take off his helmet when he's headed to the ship, and it takes a few seconds for him to adjust, and it just takes a few seconds for him to adjust to the Earth's atmosphere and everything else. So
he told him, he said he exposed a momentary weakness. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It is like that's it. You're like, yo, it's a wrap, yo. So I can understand Zod's point of view. I was a soldier, and it's like, yo, man, I'm not about to let no untrained dude. I don't care. Like, yo, if we got equal strength and all that, like that ain't going down, yo. You know what I'm saying? But look, I want to thank y'all, you know what I'm saying, for coming on here and celebrating the end of the clown table with me, yo. What I want to do first is, Jeff, I want you to say, you know, your final goodbyes, all right, to the entire clown table, right? And then you can talk a little bit about what you got coming up, you know, after that. So, floor is yours.
So yeah, just don't let the door hit you on the way out, and and good luck in your future endeavors, I guess. But if you're a WWE fan, you'll get that reference. But yeah, but as for what I'm doing right now, really, I just can't say. I'm just kind of all I can say is I'm just waiting for something. So just
Okay.
yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on something. I just can't really get into any specifics right now. So just these lips are sealed for that.
You got anything going on with Strong Arm Flicks coming up? You know what I'm saying? I've been watching y'all, and y'all been killing it. You know.
Uh, we got nothing going on right now,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Cool. All right, yo, thanks for coming on and really rapping with me, Jeff. You already know it's a pleasure always having you on here. Look, the other half of the dynamic duo, you know what I'm saying, Zod. I want you to say your final goodbyes to the clown table. You know what I'm saying, and then you can talk a little bit about what you got coming up. But for the people, the streets need to know, Zod.
For the clown table, I will say this: thanks for nothing, and I wish you all the best. As for Toby specifically, I'm looking forward to seeing what your little production company is going to do, because all those little production deals, we know how successful they are, as we've seen with what Jeff Johns did when he was let go. But we'll see what happens. And as for Walter Hamada, that's a man that I honestly hope we never see his face or hear his name again. I cannot stand Walter Hamada. The man is pompous and smug, and he acts like he's better than everybody else. Yeah, I won't miss any of them. I'm glad that their table has been dismantled. As for what I got coming up, man, you can catch me weekly with late night Q&A, and anytime I get an opportunity to team up with Skywalker or Jeffrey or Sil Abdul or whatever, I'm going to be there, because I love collaborations. It's always a good thing.
They've never faced us before.
Not us united.
You know what I'm saying? Look, as for me, my final goodbyes to the clown table, I want to tell you guys, good riddance, yo. You guys have been the fucking thorn in our side for so long. And, it didn't have to be this way. But, since you guys made it this way, I'm glad that it turned out this way. I wish you guys all the best in your future endeavors. You know what I'm saying? But as long as it is away from my goddamn DC movies, get your grubby hands off my DC movies and just move on. All right, you told us we were in a cul-de-sac, but you got cul-de-sacked. All right, everything you guys tried to tell us, it came back tenfold to bite you in the ass.
You can't make this stuff up. How good it turned out.
All these little sneaky little things, and your business dealings, and your side deals, and your DMs, and you organizing these like little bots and all the shit you was doing, you know what I'm saying? It was all good. It was all good just a week ago, right? You guys have been sitting here trying to infiltrate our fandom. It didn't work, and we outlasted you. We still here, y'all gone. I'm gonna get my projects. Are you gonna get your shit through, Emmerich? Huh? Are they gonna be in a rush to greenlight your projects, boy?
Frequency 2.
Huh? Frequency 2? When you took Mike DeLuca job back in the day, you think he about to be greenlighting your shit now? Be careful who toes you step on your way up, because they may be connected to the butt you got to kiss later. Y'all didn't listen to that. That's an old Skywalker proverb. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't listen.
Yep.
The force
Karma's real, yo. Karma's real. This Flash movie, right? See, until you do, yo, look, I've been saying it. Until they did right by us, they wasn't gonna have no right done by them, right? And look at what happened. The projects that they was on, involved with on their way out, either underperformed, flopped, or getting canceled or pushed back.
Zatanna gone. Zatanna is gone.
Anyway, he said Zatanna's gone. Ain't gonna be no damn, And I like Zatanna, right? They even tried to put their faith in J.J. Abrams. Look at what that got you, right? $250 million down the project, down the drain with no projects, nothing to speak for, nothing shooting, nothing being written, nothing just moving at all. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Black Superman, depowered, period piece. Who the hell asked for that?
And they announced it on, and that's the thing too. That's another karma moment. They announced it. They announced the project on Henry Cavill's birthday, so that's karma for you right there.
Right? But guess who gonna get another movie put out though? Cavill is. This Black Superman, this Obama Superman ain't about to see the light of day, yo. It ain't about to see the light of day. You know what I'm saying? But you got a better chance of that Michael B. Jordan project getting off the ground. I'd much rather see that. At least he ain't trying to race swap Superman, homie.
Yeah, he'll play Val Zod. See?
Yeah, play Val Zod. Don't that's the thing. Make it like you have a Val Zod. You have Val Zod. It's like, dude, why raise Swab and Clark Kent? Like there is no reason for it at all.
No, there is a reason for it. It's called pandering. It's called pandering. Me, I am a black man. I don't want to see Obama Superman. That's not what I'm interested in, yo. I'd much rather you give me Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Clark Kent is not black. Okay? like it's fine. It's fine. I'd much rather you give me original black character. Static Shock. You know what I'm saying?
And
Mr. Terrific. You can go that route. There's 1,000 black superheroes you can use, yo.
There was Black Lightning with a whole bunch of original black characters, and they worked it out. Like
Integrity said, how about giving Ray Fisher a movie?
Yep.
Yo, it's crazy. Look, man, look. I gotta get out of here, y'all. Look, I want to thank y'all for coming through. The clown table is finished, yo. Finito. I don't want to hear Toby Emmerich's name no more. I don't want to hear Walter Hamada's name no more. These motherfuckers is in the past, yo. Now we just got to get these betas up out of here, and then we'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, once the betas
beta blockers.
Yo, real talk, man. Beta blockers. I need some beta blockers. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to live in a beta-free zone. But look, much love to the chat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know I'm gonna be hitting y'all over the head with some more content pretty soon. Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I'm hopping on, because you never know who gonna pop up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am starting to notice that you never know who gonna pop up over here. So for me, Jeffrey, and General Zod, Peace.
Peace.